Hi, and welcome to Conversations and Cocktails. Today's guest is Zoe Gerstman, and she is a fabulous designer, or technical designer, for Levi. And I am so looking forward to you hearing all she has to say about the design industry. And if you like this video, you should follow me. And I would point to the button, but I can't find it. Welcome to Conversations and Cocktails. Today's guest is Zoe Gerstman.
Yes.
It is? Yes! I practiced. Okay, so I've known Zoe for 12 years. You'd think I would be able to say her last name. I don't know what's wrong with me. Gerstman. So there we have it. So Zoe she wanted elderberry flower.
Something with that, yes.
Something with elderberry flower. So we did a French 76 with elderberry in it. So, and it's her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Zoe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's good. Good idea.
Really good.
Good idea. I like it. Let's do it again.
I know.
Okay.
A little lemon in it.
This is a good idea. So,
tasty.
As I said,
Okay.
I have known Zoe for 12 years, and her passion is fashion, and I love that. Her passion is fashion. So how did you start in the fashion industry? Just did you go to school for it? Were you a kid drawing pictures? Well, when I met you, really quickly, when I met you, you had a business that was merch. You did merch for the superstars. I even got to go to a concert.
Oh, we went, didn't we?
Yeah, whose concert did we go to?
Was that Brian Setzer? No.
Yes.
Was it?
Brian Setzer? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I met Zoe 12 years ago, she was doing merch for the superstars, the musicians, right? And didn't you design little baby clothes for superstars' babies, things like that?
Well, we did a lot of different things for them. Yeah, we did.
Very cool.
I've done a lot of different things.
So, passion is fashion, and how did you start?
I mean, if you want to go way back.
Way back.
I used to make little clothes for my Barbies, sew the tube tops and just put it on them. But I knew that I wanted to be some sort of designer or artist, and I went to UC Davis as an art major, design major. They had that, and then I realized that really wasn't enough. So I applied to Otis Parsons, and I got in, and I left Davis, and I went to Otis in LA.
Nice.
I went there for 4 years. That was amazing.
Nice.
So, it's like, was it Project Runway?
Yes.
That's the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not in fashion, so when you say Otis Park, I'm like, oh, that's lovely. But that's a big deal,
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
people know what Parsons is.
Okay,
So
you're in the fashion.
Yeah, and that's where I went.
Okay, nice.
So then after that, I started a company with a person I went to school with, and that was pretty awesome. Then what did I do? I ended up going to New York for a little bit. Then I came back to San Francisco, where I'm from, and I did some little jobs around just pattern making and designing little lines for other companies, and then I ended up getting a temp job at Levi's, and that turned into a permanent job.
And you're still with Levi, right?
I am still there, but I was there for 6 years, and then I left.
Okay.
And went to Gap.
Oh.
And then I quit Gap, and I went to a startup called Archetype, where we did mass customized clothing, which was amazing. An amazing experience.
And then when I knew you, that must have been in between.
Yeah.
You had a company that so you were a partner in one company that did merch for bigger superstar type people.
Yeah.
And then you started a little subsidiary company, if I recall, that was for kind of the up and coming artist, right? Where they could put one they could put their shirts and their logos, and you helped them figure out the way to do it. But then our economy crashed at about that same
That's
time.
exactly what happened. So I left Archetype, and I quit Archetype basically mostly because I needed to spend more time with my son. He was in junior high, and so it was just a lot to work at that startup. So the company, the merch company, was a family business.
Okay.
So I was able to make my own hours, and that really helped me a lot during that time. But we had big clients. Our biggest client was Eric Clapton.
So did you design merchandise for Eric Clapton, or did you ever,
Yes.
I mean, did you ever dress him?
Well, we did make some things specific for him, but I never met him.
But you never met him.
I never met
He's worn your clothing, but you haven't met him.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of cool.
We designed
Eric
his clothes for a
Clapton,
while.
if you're watching, this is the person who designed your merch and some of your clothing. You're welcome. Isn't she amazing?
But, you can't base a company on one client, and
Right.
he's, getting a little older.
Yeah.
So he was trying, we're like, we have to look at something else, how we're going to run our business. So that's when we started going after the smaller customers, smaller, bands, and making things more for them.
More affordable for
Yeah.
smaller.
So with Clapton, we would like do the whole line and take everything out on tour.
Right.
Like we would go out
And
with
Brian,
him.
too, right? Because Brian Setzer, I think, is who
That
we
too.
went to see, and it was a big van, and you were
Yeah.
making sure, I remember we stopped and we made sure everything was right off this.
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
truck.
That's the full package. With the smaller bands, I would just design something for them, make them 500 shirts, and just sell it to them, and then they would do what they wanted with them.
They were in charge.
Yeah.
You didn't hire somebody to sit at the merch table for them or anything.
No. With Eric or Brian, like we hired a truck, we would it was like we were on tour with them.
Right. Bobbleheads. Wasn't there bobbleheads?
We did have a Brian Setzer bobblehead.
Yes. That's not fashion design, but that's fun.
Yeah.
So as you've done, I'm going to get into as you've done fashion design. But first I want to know, I remember there was a minute, and it wasn't very long. I think it was when the economy was tanking, and you went to dog clothes.
That's right.
Tell me about the dog clothes, because I told
high
somebody. No, I told somebody, I'm like, oh, my friend Zoe, she made dog clothes for the little dogs, and they're like, I want to meet her. What did she make? She might have made something for one of my dogs. So I think that was cute.
Probably. So as you said, the economy kind of tanked, and I worked for free for a long time in my dad's company trying to make it work, and I eventually had to get another job. So I tried to get back into Gap or Levi's, except I had been out for about 10 years because I had done Archetype and then working with my dad, and it was really hard. Things had changed so much. It was almost impossible to get back into Gap or Levi's. So I applied to a company called Simply She, and when I looked at their website, I'm like, they do kids, they do women's, they do dog clothes. Fine. I went there and I had my interview, and I was like looking around, and I'm like, you guys just make dog clothes? And they're like, yeah, but you've done kids, so it's kind of the same. I'm like, not really.
Not really. There's 4 legs.
Okay, if you say so, because I really need a job, yeah.
Yeah, having a mortgage in San Francisco. Ooh.
Yeah,
you
I
had to
really
work.
needed the job, so I took it. It was really fun.
Was it?
It was fun. It was a little crazy there. It was the strangest job I've had, though, because the owner was a little bit like Gordon Ramsay / Anna Wintour, the woman crazy lady. Like whenever she would come in, everyone's like, she's coming, and everyone would get at their desks, and there was dogs running around, and it had fittings on the dogs. And I had dog forms, like you have dress forms?
Yeah.
We actually had dog forms that were like little extra small, like this big, and then the big ones.
Wow.
Big ones.
What was you have a way better career than dog clothes. And I need to ask, what was your favorite dog thing you designed?
Well, we did a full body harness So this part of the dog is called the dorsal, and it's round.
Like a dorsal fin?
Yes.
Okay.
And where was that part? But this part is, you have to get the clothing around this part, and it had a zipper, and it was. I figured out how to do that. I was pretty damn proud of myself.
Wow.
It's like a vest or something. But we did really weird things, like shoes that just made no sense, and headbands, and bathing suits, and seeing
bathing suit for
a
a dog?
Pomeranian in a bathing suit and these shoes, and they were like,
high heels? Did you ever have those?
no, but they were completely flat, like plastic things that, It was mostly, I think, for people to laugh at dogs.
So you designed clothes for people to laugh at dogs.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a designer, I'm a technical designer.
I don't know what the difference is
So-
between a designer and a technical designer. Tell me.
A designer will come up with the idea.
Okay.
A technical designer makes it happen.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't pick the colors or the design, or there's a ruffle there, or a zipper there. They just talk to me and they say what they want, and then I draw it, I do all the measurements, and then I work with the factory to get it made.
So you're the architect. So
Exactly.
like the homeowner comes to you, tells you their vision, and you bring it to life.
Yes.
Okay.
I say it's kind of like an engineer for clothes.
Engineer for clothes. I love that. Okay. So you've got a degree from a fancy school. You had a lot of different jobs. You're back to Levi. I happen to know that.
Yeah, so I was at Simply She, and I got an opportunity to go to Levi's, and I went back.
You like 2 legs rather than 4?
Yeah, and I actually went back to the exact same product that I was in, whatever that was, 15 years prior. I was like, okay, I can do this.
Nice. And then what is that? Can you tell the audience what is it that you do at Levi or for Levi or?
Well, I'm a technical designer at Levi's. They call it a garment developer for men's woven tops and outerwear. So collared shirts and jackets.
Okay. Kind of fun?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing it all this time.
No,
would you?
exactly.
Right. So what I love is in your story from college to now, we did get to hear about some different roadblocks, stumbling blocks along the way. And if there was somebody, a younger person, going into fashion as their passion, what would be some things that you would caution them about? Like, what were some of your stumbling blocks besides the economy that was not just your stumbling blocks? It was a stumbling block for many of us during that period of time. But something other than just the economics of our society. What were some of the stumbling blocks that you came across, or what's some advice that you learned along the way that you would give to a younger person?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of going to school because it teaches you a lot of just the discipline of what it's going to take. It's not, I think a lot of people go into fashion think it's going to be easy. It's not. It's a lot of work, and I think the school will show you how much work it is. Also, I think that a lot of people go to fashion school thinking they're going to be designers. There's so many jobs you can do in the fashion industry.
Not just a designer, which is what I
Exactly.
assumed you were, right?
Exactly, and I'm not. I work really closely with the designers. I suggest ideas. I tell them this won't work, But there are so many other jobs. There's merchandising, and there's planning, and there's all types of things. There's product development, which is different than a designer or a technical designer, because they are the ones that develop fabrics. You work with factories where things going to get made. There's so many things you can do. So I think people are like, I'm going to be a designer, and I'm just going to draw clothes, and that's fine. At Levi's, it's very... it's a business that you're not just drawing. There's a lot of administrative things that the designer has to do. They're very much. They have to design into what the merchandiser tells them to. They're not free to do whatever they want. They can, but it's not always going to happen. So what you think, what you can do in school, and you're designing, and you're like, oh, I'm in Chanel and whatever it is. I think people get disappointed, but There's so many great things you can do. You just have to be realistic about what it is that you want to do.
So, and learning the different niches of fashion,
Yeah.
right? Within
Yeah.
the fashion industry, there's just so many different facets.
There is. And I think people just classify everything as designer.
Under the big, I did,
Yeah.
didn't I? I mean, I did.
Yeah.
So,
I was a designer at Levi's for a little bit, which was a little bit of a stumbling block. Because I was at Levi's, and then I went on maternity leave, and I came back, and they tried to like push me out, and I was like, okay, this doesn't feel good. So I ended up getting another job there. And that's how I ended up in technical design.
okay.
I was going down the designer route, but you gotta be flexible.
And no children, was having a child and being pregnant kind of a frowned upon in the design world?
It didn't feel like it until I got back. And I was like, what is going on here? So that didn't feel good at all. But a lot of, and also, I mean, when I first started Levi's, I was a temp. And that's one thing that I always tell younger people. It's really hard to get into somewhere like Levi's, straight out of school or as an assistant. Most of the people who get hired come through temp agencies.
Temp agencies.
Yeah.
So do the temp agency, do the internship.
Yep. Yeah. And Levi's has an amazing internship, and like 90% of the people, these kids that do the internships, get hired the next year.
Perfect. So internships are the way to go.
Yeah. Any way you can get in. Just applying to things online it's kind of a crapshoot, because most of the time, I mean, I don't know if to say this, but all these companies have to post the jobs legally, but they already have someone in mind that they want. So, it gets frustrating applying and applying and applying and not getting any response, but you kind of have to try to get an inside.
Get an inside line.
Yeah.
So the one question that I ask every woman who is in your seat is, as a female and with your culture of origin, your personal culture of origin, how has that helped you or hurt you get to where you're at today?
I think it's helped me, definitely. I think it's given me thick skin. I have looked different. No one could ever figure out what I was. What are you? That was a question I got a lot from when I was, little. And people would stare at me, and I grew up on the West Coast, but I'm from the East Coast, born in Philly, and my dad's from New York, and every time we went back to visit our relatives, everybody was like,
Okay, so now
what's going on?
let's look. Okay, so your dad's from Philly.
My dad's from New York.
New York.
My dad's from Buffalo. My mom is from Philly. My dad is Jewish. My mom is black.
Okay.
I was born in 1968. And yeah.
So the last name is Jewish,
Yes.
and they
First
just
name was hippie.
hippie, because your parents were hippies.
They were
I do
hippies.
remember you lived on a commune, right?
Yes, when we moved from Philadelphia to California, we moved to Bolinas, a very small town, and we lived in a school bus. So
Very cool hippie parents you had. Very cool hippie parents.
Me and my little sister. And but we would go back and like visit these places that were just surprised or didn't see a lot of mixed people. But even in Bolinas, there was very few people of color, and even there, it felt a little. I didn't want to look the way I looked. I wanted to look like everyone. The kids want to fit in. That's, everyone wants to be accepted and fit in. No one wants to be different when you're a kid. But I was totally different and had to get used to that, obviously. My name was weird. No one could say it. Everyone would call me Chloe. It's like, it's Zoe. So there was a lot of just trying to figure out and stand up for who I was.
As an individual.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful woman. I mean, you know that now. I know.
Now I love being different.
Yeah.
But when you're
But you're not that
growing
much
up-
different.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
1968 in a small town in California, I'm sure you felt different.
But it was
though.
like, oh yeah, and
in your mom's family, how were you accepted as a biracial child?
my mom's family is really accepting. It was my dad's family.
You're
that
the
was-
Jewish family that was
Yeah, not so.
not as accepting
Yeah, at first. But then I came out and they were like, oh, she's so cute.
because you're still so cute. I mean,
So, yeah, they quickly got over it, which was nice.
because you're beautiful on the inside and out.
Thank you.
So now the fashion, let's go back to fashion. So the fashion industry, is it like a 50-50 female male? Like what does that look like in the fashion industry as far as gender?
It's probably 50-50. There are a lot of women, but there's also a lot of men.
Okay.
But it's a lot of women.
And so I'm gonna ask this question. So the men, are they a lot of feminine men, or is it like just like society?
You
a hit
would
and miss. You
think.
don't know.
Yeah, Levi says it's a majority of straight men.
Wow.
Yeah.
As fashion designers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm thinking about all the designers I've worked with, and a lot of them are men, and they're all straight. They're
Wow.
all married with kids.
Wow. Okay, now let's look at the fashion industry as a whole. Let's not pick on one company. How does that, as far as color goes? Are we like, what did you just say? No personality. No, how did you say it when you were talking about homogenized? No, what did you say?
Well, there's,
Not much flavor. That was it. Is there much
Okay,
flavor
yeah,
in the
there's no-
fashion
there's not a lot-
industry?
No.
No flavor. Lots of vanilla.
Lots of vanilla.
So we
with
need
me-
more flavor in
Yes.
the fashion industry.
I can kind of play both sides of that
Biracial, yay!
coin, So I know how to play the game. How I've gotten to where I am now.
Yeah.
So,
But a little bit
good.
more flavor would be good with our
A lot more
clothing
flavor.
designers, right? I mean,
yeah. When I see, new people of flavor walking around Levi's, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here we go.
yes.
Levi's is trying to be inclusive. They try to be diverse, but
But we need people to go to school so that they have people to choose from, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of great schools.
a lot of great schools.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, so now at the end of all of my interviews, I ask people how they can find you, or how they could follow you, or where they could see your clothing line, or and really, is there any way people could do that? If they're buying button-up men's shirts, you've touched it, or
Yeah, I know. I love it when I see my design, or like things I've worked on outside. I'm like, oh, there's my shirt. And we worked on this Justin Timberlake project.
Okay.
And so Levi's is doing a collaboration with Justin, and I was measuring a jacket that was specifically made for him that he was going to wear in like a photo shoot, and I almost like put a little note in a pocket.
this is me. I made it for you.
But
Justin Timberlake, did you hear that?
I
Your
saw him
coat.
at a game with a basketball game, sitting in the front seat with one of my shirts on.
Oh, did that feel good?
Yeah, it's so exciting.
That's so exciting. So if you want to find Zoe, just look on men, because she designs their clothes. I think that's wonderful. What if somebody wanted to have something designed by you?
Well, that might be difficult.
Should they just contact me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. That's a perfect
Yeah.
idea.
So if you want to have something designed by Zoe, contact me, because I love Zoe and she's not going anywhere, and I'll have her forever. So,
Or if
Oh.
you just have any questions about getting into the industry, I love mentoring and helping people.
you do?
I do.
Okay, let's just say, especially people with some flavor.
I do. I've helped and just kind of mentored a bunch of, and they've all been women. But it's feels good.
Good.
Yeah.
So you're open to being a mentor?
Yes.
And people can just contact me if you want Zoe to mentor you, if you're in the San Francisco area specifically, right? But can you do mentoring from afar on the phone?
Sure.
There you go. Look at that. Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I really have appreciated, as far as our life journey has gone, having you by my side, especially during some of the harder times where you have really been a sister to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday! It's Zoe's birthday! It's her birthday! Isn't she
birthday.
wonderful? Oh. That's it. We're done. Woo! Wow. That was good.
Drinks.
Drinks, yes, drinks. That was really good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, really good. I thought that was really good. Did you think that was really good, Jeff?
Perfect. That's where we're going to cut.
Oh.